Another week of the Wealth Cafe, and I cannot believe I am sitting here recording this in the first week of September. It feels like just yesterday we were kicking off Memorial Day weekend. I was getting ready for so many different travel plans for the summer, and I don't know about you, but for us here in New Jersey, the leaves are already starting to change, right? I was driving into my office today and I saw one of the trees already turning orange, and to be honest, I was in the Bahamas last weekend and it was beautiful. I don't know if I'm emotionally ready to see the orange and the change of seasons. I love fall, but I don't know if I'm ready for it. But nevertheless, it is here, and that means it is time to do a little fall cleaning, as we are going to call it. Today, we are going to dive into a fall cleaning for millionaire women and their families. We always want everyone here with us. And so if you are watching the video of this version, I actually have some notes in front of me. So if you see me looking around a little bit, that is why, because I have some really important things I want us to check off and make sure that we are going through today. I wrote some things down and some notes from my own personal life of checklists that I am going through to make sure that I'm also ending the year really strong so I can start 2026. Yes, I said it, also very strong. So, to kick things off, we have a couple different areas on how we are going to break down this review. And so, to kick off our fall cleaning, let's start with big picture, right? So, there's a couple different things I want you to take a look at. And the first of which is your investment accounts, right? Go through and actually open up all of your investment accounts. Are your allocations aligned with your current goals? And every account may have a different goal attached to it, and that's fine. That is exactly how it is meant to be, but make sure you are ending the year with those allocations lined up. And this is something you can work with your financial advisor or your financial team on because you want to be prepared for the end of the year to do any tax loss harvesting and any capital gains that may come around, and you're prepared for that moment. The other thing I want you to do is take a look at your cash flow. Summer can be a little expensive, right? We take more vacations, we're probably eating out more, doing activities with the kids, family, friends, whatever it might be. So take a look. I know I traveled a lot this summer, so I'm going through my cash flow and seeing, okay, where have I maybe spent more than I intended to? What changes do I need to make coming into the fall? How is my cash flow actually looking for the rest of the year? The last thing I want you to do when looking at this big picture, check out your equity compensation for this year, right? Are you going to be getting any stock before year end, whether it's public or private? What vesting should you be expecting? And do you need to schedule a review with your accountant before year end? Because before we know it, the end of the year will be here and you're going to be sitting here thinking, oh my goodness, I have 2 weeks left of the year. We have 6 holiday parties, the children's holiday concerts, all the presents to be wrapped, and I also need to now squeeze in a meeting with my accountant. I don't want this to sneak up with you. So even if you're scheduling that meeting for November to talk about financial goals with your advisor, or you're meeting with myself trying to get things going, or you need to meet with your accountant in order to do a review, get these things on the calendar now and know what big financial dates are coming. Now, speaking of taxes, let's talk about the things to be aware of that need to happen before year end. Now, the big thing, tax loss harvesting. Now, tax loss harvesting needs to occur before December 31st. A lot of people wait, and that is the big thing that most advisors are working on or should be working on during that December month. You have things like mutual funds that are releasing capital gains, which is something you need to pay attention to in taxable accounts. Retirement accounts, not as big a deal, right? Because we're not paying taxes on that money, at least not right now if it's 401k. And so in taxable accounts, you want to be paying attention to what taxes are starting to come out. And also, should you be taking any losses in those accounts to carry forward for next year? Or on the flip side of that, should you be strategically taking any gains this year? We don't talk about this enough, and I'm actually going to be doing a full video on it in a couple weeks, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. Yes, we love to take gains as well. That means we made money. That is the whole goal of being here and building wealth. The other thing is this is a great time to pause and see, am I on track to max out contributions I'm making into things like my 401k, my IRA, HSAs, and even kids' 529s, right? What are your goals for these different contributions for the year? Typically, we don't max out on 529s, but are you on track for the contributions to those accounts as well? This is a good time to work with your financial team, check in on those numbers. And also, what gifting are you looking to do? A lot of us cram it in at the end of the year, but I like to make sure every quarter I'm checking in on my gifting, any philanthropy and give back that I'm doing because, yeah, it's great to give that surcharge into these organizations at year end, but they need help and our contributions, whether it's our time, gifts, and talents throughout the year. So I like to make sure, yes, I do that year end push, but I'm also keeping on track for these donations throughout the year. The other thing I want you to take a little review on is, and this is never the one people like to talk about, is insurance and your estate planning. Now, I talk about this all the time and I can't say it enough. And if this is something you've heard before, feel free to skip through it. If you're like, nope, my estate planning's done, my insurance is done, but hey, maybe it's that thing that you always skip and you're like, you know what, this time I finally need to listen to it. Now is a great time if you keep putting off your estate planning to get it done before year end. You have plenty of time to do it. It's something we do here in-house, or it is something that we have plenty of attorneys that we also partner with that we can refer you out to if they are good, if that's a better fit. Or you can work with your local attorney, estate attorney, or whoever you think is the best fit. Get it done, right? Make sure you are protected. Make sure that you have things up to date and you're informed and have all of the right documents in place. I have plenty of videos up on this on the channel, and I will be continuing to add more because it is something that we all put on that, oh, I'll just do it later list. It is something we need to prioritize, and that's why I continue to talk about it and continue to educate on it. The other thing is too, once you have that estate planning done, have your beneficiaries been updated? And that includes things like your insurance policies, bank accounts, your 401ks, your IRAs. And speaking of insurance, is your insurance policy up to date? Maybe you had some life changes happen this year. Open enrollment is coming up. Are you preparing now for that time of year? I want to make sure you are prepared and know that things are going to change, right? So it's okay if you need to change your policy from last year and make updates. The last thing I want us to go over is any lifestyle planning that you need to take a look at. What are goals that may have shifted this year or that you need to add to or adjust for next year? Keep in mind, goals and your financial plans are meant to change. That is the entire part of financial planning, right? If we all had this crystal ball and could predict everything perfectly, let's be honest, I probably wouldn't have a job. However, that is not the way the world works. Markets can be unpredictable, and so can life, and that keeps me in business. And as part of that, your plan and your goals, they all need to be flexible and change too. Take some time and sit down. Is anything need to happen before year end? And what are the big goals for next year as well? I review these things with clients as we do our annual and year-end reviews, and we all talk about, okay, what are we really working on for 2026? And I encourage you to do the same reflection in your own life. And it can be fun, it can be exciting rather than this daunting task of, oh my goodness, what do we have to get done? Let it empower and guide you rather than be this looming thing. So just to give you a little recap of everything we went over, because I know this was a lot and I wanted it to be a high level episode to get you kind of thinking. Feel free to play it back, share it with somebody too who you know needs to do the same fall cleaning, and another millionaire woman who you're like, girl, you need to hear this too. So just to give you a little recap of everything we went over, we talked about the big picture. What are those big things that you need to take a look at before the year ends? We talked about our taxes, right? We are preparing for year-end tax season. We also talked about, I know, the not so fun part, talking about protection. briefly touched on open enrollment season, and I will also be having a video go up later, probably in October, touching on some things to think about for that. And also, how are you preparing for your goals for 2026 and beyond? Now, I will have continued videos coming out for the rest of the year, amazing coffee conversation lineups to get you thinking about the rest of this year, great financial planning topics. So make sure you are subscribed, following along on whatever platform, because we are now on YouTube, Apple and Spotify podcasts, and iHeartRadio. And I am so happy you are here and can't wait to see all of the wealth that you continue to grow. I'll see you next time here on the Wealth Cafe.